which is what I do the best because I love to serve. And that is, I think, for me, my core. I'm a servant first, and then the qualifications come after, and the labels and everything else come after. So I'm here to find out what else can I do to better myself, to improve myself.
We're about to go on one wild ride through the world of financial planning. This is Propulsion, the podcast where we dive deep into the nitty-gritty of taking your business and your practice to the next level. Whether you are an entrepreneur, a franchisee, or a financial planning pro, you are in the right place. We're talking the latest tech, best practices, and expert insights, all while keeping it real and entertaining. So grab a coffee, sit back, and let's get ready to blast off. I'm your host, Francois Du Toit. Righty, so next up on the podcast, here at the Lean In Vision Board session, I have Zee Gumede. And Zee, warm welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the invite, Francois.
I've been saying to the previous two ladies that I spoke to, is that, the energy, even you're also energetic. I haven't spoken to anybody here who's like, So Zee, as I said, welcome. Tell us just a little bit about you, a little bit different. The previous two ladies that I spoke to, and maybe you're listening to this as a separate podcast, but there's a series here. And some of the previous ladies I spoke to, they're all into financial planning. You're a little bit different. What is your fix? What are you into?
Well, I am into healthcare. And mine is to make sure that we take care of not employees, but members and the public at large where healthcare is concerned. You know that you have the public healthcare system and you have a private healthcare system, and I operate within the private healthcare system from a strategic perspective because I have to be accredited as a financial advisor to provide you with the right information, accurate information, and make sure that I assist you as a consumer in making the best choice possible in relation to what your healthcare needs are. And that is what I do.
Cool. I mean, that's quite an interesting thing, right? And just, again, it's always this thing about, do I go broad and do everything? I mean, I think you said to me before the time that you've been doing just healthcare. That's the thing you've been into for something like 17 years or something.
That is correct, yes.
So you're about to leave school. But I mean, what is it about it that really drives your passion? Because obviously you have a passion for the healthcare side of it. And healthcare, we can talk about it very quickly, what does it all incorporate? But why do you have such a passion for this?
Okay, so when I completed my matric, I decided to study public relations with UJ because I just love people and I love interacting and I love educating, and I think I'm just a nurturer. And so for me, healthcare chose me in the sense that when I was doing PR for a company called BankMed, I was then asked by an administrator, which is Metropolitan Health Group, to start a healthcare division that would service people working for the banks within the BankMed closed scheme environment. And then that just grew and grew because I was spotted by other people who were then saying, okay, come join us in the open market. What people don't realize is that medical aid is a product. And when you buy into that product, because it deals with people's lives, we tend to treat it differently to other types of financial products when it's actually just the same thing. The only difference is that you're dealing with not-for-profit organizations in some instances. But there was a need for people to actually assist those buying from, those service providers to then assist them in making the right choices in terms of what they're buying out of those particular institutions.
Yeah, no, I guess healthcare, it almost feels like it's a neglected. I mean, it used to be a very big part of financial planning or financial advice until they changed the commission structures and things. And then suddenly everything, a lot of people got out, a lot of advisors got out of it because it wasn't worth it anymore. And I was a BankMed member for many years. My wife was one. So we know those guys very well and all of it that goes with it. So awesome. Then you so you're running this division, right, for a company called GTC.
That is correct.
And you're here today with Lean In to do this vision board session.
Correct.
Why?
Because it all begins with you. as a person, in order for you to be able to help others, you need to feed yourself first, take care of yourself first. And it's not selfish, it's self-full, because you need to be mindful of where you are and figure out how are you moving forward and how is that going to affect the different aspects and levels and just different things in your life that will be affected by the changes that you need to make. And so the vision board session this afternoon was very important for me to attend because it assisted me in ascertaining where am I and what am I short of, what do I need to fill to make myself full in order for me to be able to serve, which is what I do the best because I love to serve. And that is, I think, for me, my core. I'm a servant first, and then the qualifications come after, and the labels and everything else come after. So I'm here to find out what else can I do to better myself, to improve myself, my craft, even as a mom, work, whatever the case may be. What can I do to add on to myself in order for me to give back more to others and serve them even better? And that's what the vision board has assisted me with.
So what are you walking away with today? Like, what is the big thing that when you leave here, how does this translate the vision board into your actual, because this is the thing about personal and professional, it's not just, and other relationships, but it's what happens now? Like, what are you going away here saying on Monday morning or tomorrow morning or tonight, whatever it is, this is what I'm doing first, and this, so what's happening now after this?
Right. So I think for me, there's certain goals that I already had, which I now have put on my vision board and I need to begin manifesting. So it's a matter of, okay, what are the tools that I'm going to be putting in place or actions that I need to put in place to make sure that I start, doing these things. And one of the things that I'm going to be doing is writing my RE1 exam, which then allows me to become a sole proprietor. So I'm just opening up my avenues in terms of what it is, I can do with the craft and my experience and all these learnings that I've taken from. I think also I've picked up from my vision board that one of the things that I wrote a lot was work. And then family came after. And we were all actually very embarrassed about that. But we realized that it's because what we're getting from work is what is enabling us to push our families and do the things that we need to do for our families. So there's nothing wrong with that, actually. And so what one needs to do now is put the actions in place to make sure that whatever is on that vision board works out. And for me, one of the things is my RE1, and that is something that I want to pursue so that I can eventually one day own my own FSP.
Awesome. And just on that, let's just delve a little bit into the comment you just made. It is about, and I think what's great about a vision board like this, I think when you're truthful and you really do, and you really put on there what's on your heart and not what you think other people would think is, oh, Zee, that's awesome. Like those are the right things. Well done, my girl. Let's stick if you do that, there will probably be a misalignment with what's really important to you. And you said a couple of things which I 100% agree with. So the first thing is that there's nothing wrong for your spouse to be third or fourth or fifth on your list, or for your children to be second. We grow up in a environment where people make you believe that family has to be first.
Right.
Now, I'm telling you today that because they're third or fifth on the list doesn't mean they're not important to you. It doesn't mean you don't spend quality time. It doesn't mean that you don't do the things that they need. It's got nothing to do with that. But exactly, if you are really somebody in your heart that nothing else in the world matters, it's only your children and your family, then they will be top of that. And the way to, let me ask you, do you know the easiest way to determine if somebody, if they say that their family is the most important thing, how can you determine whether that's true?
Pray tell. I don't know. How do you do that?
Look at where they spend their money, what they spend their money on.
Wow.
Look where the money flows. And if somebody says my health is important to me, okay, how much money do you spend on health? No, we're eating out, we're doing and there's no gym fees, there's no medical aid, there's no nothing.
Yes.
You can easily say, no, but that's not true. Because if that was true, you would be spending money on it.
You'd be prioritizing.
Yes.
Yes.
So this is now a conversation. I'm going to derail this whole conversation, which I don't want to do. But I'm saying that I 100% agree with you. If you are true to yourself and you say that, look, in my instance, my work is the most important thing, not because I don't love my kids or my husband or whatever. It is because what it enables me to do, because I fully believe your career or your business is the thing that enables everything else in your life.
That's true.
But the stuff you really chase is the stuff in your life. It's not the business stuff.
That's right.
You know?
That's
so,
right.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just wanted to throw that in there. Now it's me talking more than you. I'm so sorry.
I appreciate that.
But yes, you are 100%. There's nothing wrong with that. It's about being truthful to yourself.
Yes.
And then seeing how you can incorporate all of this stuff. I can tell you a whole other story about that, which was a big lesson 2 years ago that I learned from somebody who made the two work.
Yes.
So, but anyway, so let's not do that. So the question is around Lean In. Like, what stands out for you about Lean In? Like, what is the thing that makes it a great place for you to be a part of?
I love it. I love the fact that women have stood up and said, look, we are in the industry. You hear it all the time. They say, we're looking to fill this position, but we can't find a woman. We are here. And we're saying, lean in. You know, find us. We are here. Just lean in and you will find us. And we are leaning in on each other as well and growing. And wow, it's just been a lovely experience. Most of the time, you find that women pull each other down. Women usually don't uplift each other. And this is unique because you've got women that come from all the different provinces in South Africa that have gone to different universities, different technicons perhaps at the time that are now called universities after mergers, etc. But people with different backgrounds, different teachings, different academic, whatever it is that you may call it, but at the same time being able to come together and find a common goal to say, listen, we all have qualifications in this field, and we're all doing something that is, you know, adding on to South Africa's economy. We are here. We've studied. We've done what we were supposed to do. We've made our parents proud. But here we are now, and what are we doing with these opportunities in front of us? And what are we doing to leverage off each other as women? Let's get to know each other better. Let's understand each other's niches, and let's try and help each other up and hold each other up. And that's what lean in is for me. That's what I've gained from these ladies. It's really been remarkable. I mean, it's been a couple of months, but it's been great. Really awesome. Yeah.
Great stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time. It was awesome meeting you. Wishing you all the best for the year. And remember, the vision board isn't something you do in January or February and then next year, January, like, live it.
Francois, trust me, I am very hard on myself. I'm not going to forget about this experience, and that vision board is going to be on my fridge. There's no way I can forget about it. So
awesome.
I'll definitely remember that. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much. See you around soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, folks, that's a wrap for this episode of Propulsion. I hope you got as much out of this as I did. Remember to tune in every Friday at 8 a.m. South African time for our live show called Propulsion Live. You can find it at www.propulsion.co.za/live. And trust me, you don't want to miss it. If you enjoyed this episode of the podcast, hit that subscribe button or the follow button and share it with your friends, colleagues, and anyone else who you think would get something out of it. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next one.